Today's video takes a look at the Judges Guild product, Steeds and Wave Ridges. Please stick around. I'm AZ Mountaineer. This is our channel, Old School Rules, where we celebrate the community of old school gamers and grognards who like classic RPGs, miniatures, magazines, and everything that goes with it. Today's video continues our look at the products of Judges Guild with another one of the products that came separately outside the subscription service you had to pay for specifically. It's called Steeds and Wave Ridges, and as a bonus we're going to look at another product called Flotilla I, which ties into this. Hope you enjoy the video. So this is the product number 66 on the Judges Guild numbering list. It's a booklet, module, some magazine size, just plain paper, and then two of these handouts that are on hex paper, but it's drawings of different types of boats from overhead, like design drawings of those boats. That's all you got. So let's take a look here at the cover. This is the second printing, which is blue. We'll show you the earlier printing here in just a second, but this is the one I have. Just a slightly closer look at the artwork. So Steeds and Wave Ridges, basically ships and boats, right? 1978, a non-Bob Bledsoe product. This is from a guy named Dave Saring. It was $6.50. You got the 32-page booklet and two of these fold-out maps. This is the first printing cover. It's white with just a little bit of red on it, and then we have the blue background. Otherwise, it's going to be the same product. And of course, again, in addition to that, you got these, I'll call them maps or charts. And so you guys can see here, this is pretty big. And you got two of these. They were exactly identical. Right? And they spread out. You can see how big those things are, top to bottom. A lot like the Judges Guild maps. Paper has a slightly different feel to it, but basically similar size to the maps you'd get for the Wilderness campaign area. And you can see these different boat drawings of boats on here, and we'll take a look at those just a little bit more detail in a minute. Here's our inside cover. Again, Dave Serling. It says written and illustrated by, but we also have artwork by Cheryl England in here. So it's not completely clear to me. I'm guessing that things that aren't signed by England are by Dave Saring. And obviously I think the boat drawings are his, and maybe that's what he means by illustrations. It's just a slightly closer blow up of that page. And then there's this little note on the copyright page, and I circled here in orange. It says a package containing 4 additional ship drawing sheets, these things, is also available. And that's the item called Flotilla I. We'll take a look at that very quickly at the end of the video. Here's our table of contents. There's an introduction where he talks about his sort of the background for this project. In connection with this, a little information about sailors, naval combat, and then a long section here where we look at the different types of ships, and some notes, and then some advertising at the end. Here's his introduction. He talks about basically the background of ships in Earth's history. Ships have for a long time been the cheapest way to move products. Frankly, they still are the cheapest way to move products today with the super tankers. And as he says, there's basically 2 types of ships, those that are sort of inland, things like rivers, streams, and lakes, and then those things that sort of seagoing vessels, right, that can survive the waves of an ocean, Mediterranean, etc. And it gives you a little bit of information about the history of ships and ship construction. Then we have a little section here, a couple pages where he talks about sailors and his idea about how to put sailors into your campaigns, and essentially says, anywhere you're around a port of some size, you'll probably have 2 things. One, somebody who builds ships, and he gives thoughts on the cost of construction, time it takes for ships, and the different type of people, skill level you need to have involved based on the different type of a ship. And you're going to be able to find people who can man those vessels, i.e. sailors in the different levels. And he's got sort of rules here for how many skilled sailors you need for every sort of common laborer you might have on a ship, etc. Then there's a brief section giving you some thoughts on naval combat, anything from small ships where basically, he says early combat ships, basically their attack technique was to ram somebody, or they would pull up alongside somebody and basically hook on so that the soldiers on one ship could attack the people on the other and take it over. Then later you had things like the concept of firing maybe flaming arrows, or like you see here, maybe a catapult of some sort could be mounted on there. Of course, later cannons. And he also talks a little bit about the invention of this product called Greek fire, right? This flaming tar that you could shoot with a catapult, hit the other ship, and of course it's made out of wood, so it lights on fire. It's particularly deadly in ship-to-ship combat. And then finally, the meat of this product is a look at the ships. Now here's the odd thing. The ships here the drawings are numbered, 1 through 16 or 18, well 1 through 20 total, but they're not all ships. And then he lists them here with the numbering in order, but then when we turn the page, they're not going to be in order. I have no idea why, but we're going to look at these in the order they are in the book. Okay. Here's a closer look. You can see the names of what the 20 different things that are on here. So the first thing is the merchant ship, and here's the drawing of that. Just a very basic outline. He does have a sort of like an slightly smaller upper level in the crow's nest and stuff like that. Oh, and I should say something about the design. And so he designed this. The size of these drawings was made so that you could lay these out on your tabletop. I don't know if he thought you would cut them out or just flip it over and use the ship, point to and say, well, this is the ship you guys are on. But it's made of a size to go with metal miniatures. He calls out Raoul Partha in particular, but Raoul Partha, Grenadier, Heritage, whatever miniatures you guys might have been using at the time. The drawing is at the size that the miniatures are to scale in his mind on these different types of ships. Okay, so the drawings might be a little bigger or smaller on here to fit the screen, but if you lay it in front of you, to scale, they're all going to be ready for miniatures. So anyway, here's a merchant ship. We've got a southern trading ship, a very similar ship here with the sail in the middle, and he's got a couple of drawings there for that, the main level and the lower level. This thing he calls the long ship. Again, this is a seagoing warship. It's kind of like the Vikings might have had, etc. And there's a drawing of what that might look like. Then the harbor gallery, and he says these ships, which you'll notice don't have a mast, they're only moved by rowing, are small warships, and he says these are what are utilized by the city-state of the invincible overlord to guard and patrol their harbor. So they are right around the city-state in the home campaign. And there's the schematic for that. Then we have the coaster, basically a large fishing boat. A little drawing for that. The ceremonial barge, I think of like being in Egypt for this kind of thing. You can see the giant chair that's built there, and of course on this you've got the seat of honor in the schematic. Then we have the barge or the ferry, just basically a flat-topped boat that you would pull across from one side of a body of water to another, typically a river or a deep stream. Then we have the large and the small raft, the simplest of things to do to craft together. And here you can see the two different drawings and the relative size between the two. We have the coracle, which they call one of the earliest known types of boats. There's a couple of these, and this is basically branches just put together, and then they put some type of animal skin sewn together around it, cover that with tar to make the waterproof bottom of a little tiny boat. Here's the umiak, and it's very similar to the last one, but it's just a slightly larger size and maybe a little bit more sophisticated craft. And the skiff, these are little work boats intended for just one or two people. They're not going to get out into very deep water. The longboat, similar to the skiff, this is basically a boat that's designed to transport people. Could be military soldiers, but again, it's not really designed to fight from this. This is to get you from point A to point B, get off and attack or do whatever you need to do on land. The common fishing boat. The dugout, essentially what we might call a canoe. It's a hollowed out log. The outrigger, which basically takes the canoe and adds the extra ballast out here on the side of that, and again that'll keep it, and it has a sail so it can get slightly deeper water, and that keeps it from rolling over in the wind when you use the sail. So that's it for the ships that are in here. We'll take 1 second here and show you the the other things that are in the drawings that aren't ships. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, so here we have the non-ship things that are in the in here. We've got the ballista, a catapult, some barrels, and then a random bundle of cargo. So these were other things that you get myself out of the way. These were other things that you could use in your campaign desk, on your tabletop, right? Okay. Then at the back we have these designer notes. He talks a little bit about the idea, which is that, you could use these. He tried to make things that were pretty good, and he does say, in his view, you could cut these out and use these on your tabletop. That's his idea. He also had some books that he references, and so if you want to, I'll get out of the way, you want to pause this and take a look at some of the books that he said were particularly helpful to him when he did this work. There's some nautical terms for you here so you can understand a little bit better the vernacular to use when you're talking about things, life on the ship, or the pirates or the sailors are talking about things on the ship. And then a couple little drawings here for you. You get the wind at the bottom blowing. And so the first one shows you somebody in a sailboat. You're going more or less straight with the wind at your back. You're running off to an angle there. It's what you call reaching. If you're going against the wind, then you're doing what's called hauling. And if you aren't with the wind at your back, he shows you how a sailor would use this concept of tacking, right, where you have to sort of go at right angles across the wind. You can catch the wind in your sail, and even here, as it shows you, you can actually go towards the wind if you learn how to tack. And the little drawing of England's in the back with a little two-color there. This pirate, there's a closer look at that. And at the very back we have these 2 pages, again, just some of their maybe more popular or things they wanted to promote here with a little bit of an illustration or a picture and a little blurb underneath of it for that. And in addition, we also have a booty list here on the last page with a funky drawing down here in the bottom left corner. It says, looks like ANA or DNA are the initials. I'm not sure who that is, but I like that little big-nosed, whatever he is, guy at the bottom. A little bit of a booty list here going up through numbers 109. And then this is our back page, just a little drawing of a ship with the words Judges Guild underneath it. Okay, so connected to this, but released, as a separate product, is item number 69 on their list, and it's called Flotilla I. Came out the same year. It's obviously the thing, and it's just this. 4 folded, there's a cover sheet I'll show you in a second, and basically just 4 more of these. The idea being, if you are cutting them out and using them, maybe you want more than ones, maybe you have ship-to-ship combat, maybe you've lost one, maybe you just want extras, whatever. But you can just buy extra copies of this map or these drawings to cut out on your tabletop. And here's what you'd get: just a piece of paper, and then it's front and back sided. So I guess if you're going to cut it out, you'd need 2 just to allow you to do the cutting, because right when you cut one side, you destroy the other side. That wasn't the greatest planning on their part, I guess. Or maybe the planning was, well, we give you one, maybe you don't cut it. But in any event, that's what you got. Just 4 copies of that front and back set of schematics if you wanted more, and that's called Flotilla I. So that's it for our look at this item, actually 2, Sea Steeds and Wave Riders and Flotilla I, products from Judges Guild. Not my favorite product, but we never did a lot of naval combat or high seas kind of adventuring in my campaign. If you did this, I think this product would be really helpful, and these would be really fun if you used miniatures on your tabletop. So hope you all enjoyed today's video. Hope you're enjoying this series where we look at the products of Judges Guild, and I hope you're subscribed. If you have friends who might enjoy our content, please send them our way. Hopefully they'll be part of the community, and hopefully they will be subscribers as well. Have a great day. Until next time, my friends, keep rolling 20s.